All right, this is call to order. The meeting of the Park Board of the City of Connersville, Indiana is now in session. Bain, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we don't have anybody here to do the roll. I'll do it. Bain? Here. Amy?
Here.
Carrie?
Here.
Ann?
Here.
Harold? Scott? Present? All right. We'll move on to the reading of the minutes. Anybody have any additions or corrections to last month's reading of the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Have a motion to accept.
I'll second.
A second. Okay. All right. Motion to accept. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as is, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's get for the minutes. All right. Let's move on to some new business. First up is resolution 2022-17, 2022-18, which is moving money from electricity to the pool liner. That finishes that up, I believe, because they're redoing that section, coming back and replacing that. Isn't that correct, Dennis?
I thought that was their fault.
It is.
Why are we paying?
It's finishing up. They didn't finish paying. Now that they've got it corrected, we finish paying.
Oh,
Okay.
we just didn't have enough in that original.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're not paying them anymore?
No.
We held off our last payment until we got it fixed?
Right.
Okay, good.
Okay, because they had the lines wrong. Okay. All right. I'll need a motion to accept that resolution.
I move we accept it.
Got a motion for need a
The
second?
resolution.
I'll second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second for resolution 2022-17 and 2022-18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, resolution passes. All right, other new business. Which we need to approve Angie McMullen to replace me once my term is over. So is Angie she's not here tonight, is she?
No, she might be working.
Okay. All right, so we'll need a motion to accept her. I believe all of you have all of you met her?
No,
Okay. All right. Well, I think you'll enjoy having her on the board. So,
your term is how many years, Scott? 4?
4.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm done in 3 months.
Okay, is there an issue about consecutive appointments? In other words, can you serve a second term?
I don't know.
Well, that's my question, because I'm a school board representative.
Right.
And I'm running for election and say I'm elected again, I would be more than willing to do this again, but I don't want to violate something about, term limits or something like that.
I'd have to read them again. I don't
Okay.
remember them from off
Because-
the top of my
because-
head.
There's only 7 of us on the school board, and there are only a few of us that have the time to devote to this, so I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, I'd
find
have to
it-
read and find out.
I'd
I'm
have
not
to
sure.
double check and find out, because the school board was a problem to begin with, because the former superintendent appointed somebody off the board to
Mm-hmm.
the park board, and according to the ordinance, it had to be a member of the school board. So
Right.
it
Same with
limits,
the library board.
yeah,
Mhm,
it limits,
right.
it puts limitations on it, and I don't know if there were term limits, but I will check that statute also. Thank you.
And I didn't realize we had to approve if the mayor appointed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but,
Yeah, I didn't think that was in the bylaws. but-
well, according to
will,
what they
'cause
did,
I'll
I was
make
going to
that motion
say,
that-
because it's actually on the new business,
Okay.
and she wouldn't have put it on there if we don't
Okay.
approve it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all those in favor of Angie, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, very good. All right, Dennis, you're up. How's sports?
Not too bad right now. We're looking at soccer
I don't know, I don't think we had reported that last time.
No,
We ended up with about 310 kids signed up for soccer. And this is, we're 3 weeks into that already, right along with a girls' machine pitch softball, which is 18U. We ended up with 4 teams in that. There's 40, 41 kids. And that's about the same. We're right in the middle of that. And then other than that, we've got, next thing coming up would be the girls' basketball. And that deadline to sign up is coming up this Thursday, the 29th. Other than that, that's about all we got for sports right now.
Okay. all right.
What's the age for the girls' basketball?
It's 6th grade and under.
okay,
Oh, my bad, let me correct that.
Yeah.
Yep, it is 1st through 6th grade.
First
Yeah, no
grade,
kindergarten.
you have to be in first grade,
Correct,
and you
yes.
have to be in 6th grade and not over.
Right,
And you turn in your form and your money by what time?
before 4 o'clock on
Before
Thursday.
4 o'clock. Yes, that's a big one, because anything after that
It is not accepted.
is not accepted, so share that page on Facebook.
has there been any, we had discussed it previously with the girls' basketball, the rec program, through the Parks Department being in some sort of contact with the CHS, with Ms. Harder and the CHS program. Has there been any conversations about that at all?
No.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Dennis. All right, we don't have a superintendent here tonight. Normally we'd have our superintendent's report at this point in time. She did give us our monthly report. Looking through it, the big thing I noticed, I don't know if anybody's been up there, the storage shed is finally done. Okay, you getting everything moved into it?
Yeah, it's already packed.
Is it? Okay, all right, very good. Being full tells you we needed it. Okay. And I do know that they have started construction on the Longwood Bridge. Should be getting some things going there. I'm not sure how far along they've actually gotten on it yet, but I do know they started working on it. Let's see, trying to think what else.
That the trick or Halloween thing coming up.
Yeah,
The Jacko
the
John.
Jacko-John.
Ah.
The Jack of John.
Yes.
Yes, that's
At the trail.
at the trail.
And I
Okay.
think that's the 12th,
11.
11th.
It's the 11th, Jack John's the 11th, and then they're doing fall break camp from the 24th to 28th during. So those are significant dates. Other than that, I do know last Saturday they did have an invasive species work day at the John Connor Nature Preserve.
And
So-
an informational thing too, to
right.
identify plants and what
Right.
what it was going to be. And David Caldwell and Andrew did a great job of informing people what was going on. I mean, as they did here.
Right. Yes, they've been working really hard to get that up and going, so. Let's see what else, anything else important. We'll talk just about the pool liner real quickly. They've got it underway to be replaced properly.
Tearing down the old house.
Yeah. The old house associated on the park where the superintendent used to live, they've gotten approval to tear it down, because it's basically storage and it's falling apart anyway, so. Rather than have an eyesore and something that's caving in, they got approval to tear it down. They did touch base with the Historical Society, so that way they weren't stepping on anybody's toes there, so that will come down. Other than that,
The Bark Park
Oh.
vaccination clinic.
oh yeah, the Bark Park, we're doing a vaccination clinic on the 15th from 11 to 1. So, bring your dogs out. I think they are $15 for rabies shots, $25 for all vaccines. So that'll be happening. All those proceeds from that goes back to the Bark Park. And I think that's it. Okay, you got anything? Did I miss anything, Dennis?
I don't think so.
Okay, anybody else?
I think we've got the Jacko John.
Yep, those are the big things.
Yeah, Carrie and I have been working on some things for that, so I think everything is good.
Okay, all righty. Okay, on the old business. First thing in old business, our October meeting date. We don't have enough people that will be able to be here on the 24th. We've looked at possibly Tuesday the 18th. So if everybody would look at their calendars and check.
One's a blank.
Tuesday,
Tuesday the 18th,
I got a date back, that would
in the evening, same time.
be, no, that would be school board, so yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna tentatively put that there. I'll have them add that in, so that way she can advertise it with the change, so that way, we can have a quorum for that day. Alrighty? We'll just get all the information out to everybody and make sure, okay?
And we need to have the time of the meeting changed. On every door, it still says 7 o'clock, and it's at 6:30.
Yeah.
So I noticed that when I was coming into the Miller Building, and I think it's still that on our website too.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we changed that quite a while ago.
It
so-
says 6:30.
Does it say 6:30 now? Okay, on the buildings,
On the
it's
Parks
still,
website, it does.
yeah, on the buildings, it still says 7, so I think that's a bit confusing. Nothing major, something small.
All right, the other thing I added to old business is pickleball, okay? So I emailed everything out to everybody. I've talked to a few of you, tried to discuss things. Hopefully everybody read the proposal. Okay. At this time, the proposal would change to allow the pickleball to use it, the gym as a fee schedule associated with, similar to the pool. Okay. At this stage, unfortunately, we can't agree to that. Okay. That fee schedule is set up for the pool, and we start equating buildings according to fee schedule. We're running into, the next thing you know, they're going to want to use the amphitheater for $3 to go in and use it for 2 hours. Okay. We can't, if you want to compare buildings like that, we can't do that. Okay. So we have come up with something else to try and see if maybe we can get to something that everybody can use. It came across, where did I do with it? Here it is, Winter Wellness Program. So in other words, we would start it at a certain time, like October 1st or November 1st. During that time, we're looking at possibly dropping the rate for the use of the gym even further to like $10 per hour. Okay, but it would have to be set up as a community project, not just for pickleball. Okay, we're talking about utilizing it for like yoga classes, coming in the mornings and use the gym for $10 so they can use it rather than paying the $20 to get inside, because we do have a few people that use the pavilion for those types of things. So that is what we're actively working on. Okay, that way it involves everybody. Maybe we can work on partnering with Reed to get some grant money to utilize other things, so that way it opens it up fully rather than just to one individual group. Okay.
Well, and because I should not say we, I completely agree. You all have made a huge point in wellness and in physical activity and in how important that is and how important it is to you and your group, everyone sitting here, and then the others that also play pickleball. It's a very big part of what we should be supporting and what we should be promoting and what the Parks Department should all be about is getting you all to play pickleball and you to bring your friends and your neighbors and the school children that you guys have been working with. And that is something that the park really does need to be behind, and we really do need to support. But as I look out and I see a lot of people who understand that it is not just one entity that we need to support, has to be across the board, and we need to promote wellness to everyone. And we came up with this compromise, solution, promotion, more of a, let's not just get you all playing pickleball in the winter months indoors. Let's bring those people who are doing aerobics class outdoors right now, keep them coming to the park doing aerobics indoors when it's snowy and icy outside. get the whole yoga movement that has been outdoors this summer, invite them in, with a fee a little bit bigger, because I think right now it says basketball or pickleball for the $20,
Yes, it's
But-
volleyball or volleyball. or pickleball, $20.
volleyball or pickleball,
It's
yeah.
$20.
And we need to be doing more of what you all are doing, which is moving. And I think that is something that the Parks Department really needs to acknowledge and really needs to say, yes, you all got it going on.
So yeah,
But the whole taking $3 at a time, being a cashier,
Mm-hmm.
and for each individual building is.
Right.
So I just wanted to say that.
Do you have a copy of this?
no,
The copy of the winter wellness at the park?
Yes, we do.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that you got the.
Is that for everybody? Is that like basketball and everything across?
Well,
According to this, it says
that would
basketball,
be,
yoga,
that's what
walking.
we're trying to set the parameters for.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not exact. Okay, this is just the first draft. So that's where we're trying to set parameters, trying to make sure that everybody understands what any kind of healthy movement, healthy fitness program can come in and utilize the gym for that amount of money. Okay?
So this is not going to be adopted tonight?
No. So everything stays in place until this is adopted. Okay? All right?
It says October 15th, so that's only like,
Well, like I said, this was just put out there. We drafted it really quick. Carrie spent a lot of time coming up
Yeah.
with this.
I can tell.
The dates are not set in stone at this point in time because you're dealing with government. Okay? And when you deal with government, don't expect anything to move tomorrow. All
It's the
righty?
day after our next meeting is when, 15th.
So this is a day-long initiative, right? So
Could be.
if pickleball were in the morning, yoga could start
Still,
at
yes.
11:30,
Could.
and walking could start at 1.
It could.
It could fill
Right.
up the gym all day long.
Right. That's why we have to have the promotion set. Because I'm proposing at this point in time that we not change the ordinance. I'm proposing that we set a program for you guys to be able to utilize. So that way when October 1st comes, it goes into play.
And
March
this is
31st
just
come-
assuming the gym isn't already
Rented,
rented or
correct.
something, okay.
And then March 31st, it ends. Everybody goes back outside.
Would this be a first come, first
Yes.
served basis?
Unless,
If
yes.
we wanted to rent it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to 11, we would be
You
on.
could, as long as,
the-
You would be on the hook for that.
As long as nobody
Amount
else
of
got it,
Yeah.
and we've got it.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to set up and set so that way we can regulate it to a certain extent where it's not going to be confusing and it's not going to be stepping on anybody's toes. All right.
It moves administration of finances to each group.
Right.
So it's instead of having, tickets for $3.
Someone would
for
still
every-
be, just to clarify, someone would still be responsible.
Yeah, one person.
One
person.
person from your group would still be responsible for signing the form, paying the deposit.
Now, is that a deposit for every day we use it or just a one-time?
Probably going to be, I would maybe look at that as if it's a group of people.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little
So,
different.
so like if you have yoga, they could probably leave a $50 deposit and be good for the
The
winner.
entire
in
time.
this document, it's one time for the season.
Right, and that's what that's again, those are the things we're
Okay,
hammering
but
out.
it could be
Proposing.
changed.
Well, and this is the proposal right
Right.
now that we
Right.
still need to
Get approved.
Yeah, 'cause
kind
that-
of hammer down and get everything, but that was just kind of a jumping off point.
That's all
Right.
it is.
Is a
So,
jumping off
nothing
point.
else, nothing on this piece of paper is in stone.
What, I'm sorry, go ahead, Shirley.
So,
Sorry.
just a question, and, anything that moves both groups together, and like Carla suggested, that we can keep activities going from early in the morning until, late at night. However, that does probably cause the park, extra people,
It does.
if you're talking.
Maintenance.
But I've read many things, so what about the walkers? I mean, I really would hate to see a walker have to pay a $50 deposit
I don't think
so that they
that's-
could come in and pay $3 to walk every day.
At-
And Carrie and I had a discussion earlier about this. I have seen walkers around when I've been playing pickleball many times, but I tell you what, the promotion about the walking trails, for years and years and years, we've been trying to do this. And, more people are getting up on it. I love it when I see somebody over there on the Nickel Plate Trail. And everywhere else they're walking. So I expect more people to come and take advantage of it this winter. So is it possible, are they going to be allowed to walk inside the reception area and/or
I don't know.
John Roberts building?
Right.
So that, both can go on at the same
Right.
time. So I think that has to be considered in your
Right.
plan. I think this is a great
They've always
move
done-
to.
They've always done, what I understood, in the wintertime, Spartan Bowl has been always open to walkers.
No,
I don't think
that's
it's-
incorrect.
Not anymore?
For about
No,
30 years.
Not
Security.
for,
It's not
not for at least
a while.
5 or
Sorry.
6 years.
Yeah.
Because of the
Oh, the
kids,
security,
the
okay.
kids,
Well-
the kids come
And-
in before 8 o'clock.
Right, we did. So yes, we brought in the Roberts building at this point in time. We've talked about different things. I don't think we're gonna change things, because right now walkers can go in to the gym anytime, and walk, most of them do it in the mornings and do it, and there's no charge to
They used to do it
them.
like 8 to 9,
Yeah.
and then we would come in at 9, was
Okay,
how
so-
previously was.
So yeah, so it's, again, we're gonna have to move some things, work with some things, and try and make sure that everything is accommodated. But like I said, this has to be an initiative that we want to use it as a promotion of health and fitness, not of one type of
Appreciate
thing.
that. I mean,
But
this
keep
is
in
a
mind,
good comment.
we still have rentals that will happen, that they will get in the day before. So still,
Yes.
those things are going to come up like a Friday, because there's
Yep.
a Saturday reception or a meeting or, something that's going on. So I've not looked at the calendar to see,
But
yes.
if we have it rented, then they can't overrule our rental. I mean, if we reserve it for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 9 to 11, there is nobody who can say, wait a minute, we wanted the gym, you guys are out.
If you've made I would assume that
If
if
it's
you had.
already rented, I
That's the
mean,
way it was before.
Yeah.
Before anything to do with the money, that was the problem. Because a lot of the pickleball wants to just come in.
No, but
That-
if,
that-
if it is rented, it's on the
But
12.
if we
If- if
rent
it-
it.
But if we rent it,
Yes.
we get it.
But-
Yes.
Well,
Nobody can
But
kick
when it
us out
comes
and
to
override
wellness,
us.
but my
Except
gosh, don't you
for,
rent that gym for
well,
$300 and some dollars
our
for an
events.
event?
Okay.
Right.
Would
They
already be
have
on
to
the
get
books.
24,
I'm just saying, a
48
good
hour
example
notice.
is to just say you say you rented Wednesday in the evening at 5 o'clock, but then something happens that we had to have one of our sporting events in the gym. Yes, you would be booted out at that time then.
So you get priority over us. Your
Well,
money is
for
better
our-
than ours?
No, it's not better, it's
No.
our event.
for the park
it's
events.
a park event.
Park
Not-
events.
Yeah, not me. it's-
So like indoor soccer.
Right.
But
there's
that should be
league.
on the books
It would be
already.
on the
That would be
books,
on the
yes.
That would already, that would
Yeah,
already be.
It's
on
probably
the
not gonna
books.
come into play, but yes, it would.
Yeah.
You would know beforehand.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would-
because those
Should.
kinds of things typically are scheduled months in
advance,
advance,
yeah.
okay?
That's-
And you would have,
That's the way
you
it
would
always
inquire, it says you have to do it 48 hours before, space must be reserved at least 48 hours before. These major events are usually put up several weeks at a time, so you could say, okay, would like the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, and they look at the book and say, we've already got somebody there on Tuesday, but we have Wednesday, Thursday available, then you could put in for the rental of that. It's just like any other space in that respect.
So we would
And-
only take precedence over any other wellness event.
As long as it's
Yeah.
scheduled.
As long as
Well,
it's scheduled.
the
Park
park
is
is
scheduled.
always
Ahead.
given
We
first.
agree that the sports programs would have precedence.
Yeah.
There's no conflict there. What we're talking about is if we have the gym rented Monday through Friday, and somebody says, hey, I want to schedule the gym for a birthday party.
You would
In
have
the
to-
past, we have been told you can't use the gym that day, and we've been fine with it. But if we're going to have to schedule it and pay in advance for it, does that give us any kind of?
See, those are the things that we
Agenda.
have to work out. We have to figure out. We don't know just yet because, like I said, this is a new thing. We're trying to make it work.
Okay.
We're
Put
trying
that
to
on your
accommodate.
list.
It
Put
is.
that on your
Okay.
list.
And also too, I think I want people to be aware of the fact that all the pickleball players, and I'm very envious of how you do all this stuff, this is generating income for the city of Connersville. They have tournaments, these people eat, they do a lot of other things, and it's going to create some revenue for not only the people who are playing. It is my understanding that with park budgets as low as they are, to maintain the pickleball courts in an appropriate manner so they can get people in here, it's going to require some extra money. And these people are willing to raise that extra money in order to help defray the costs of that. And I think that that needs to be put out to the public, that they're not just taking, they're giving back to the community. They're willing to help maintain as best they can the facilities that the outdoor facilities that they're using. So I think that we need to be able, from the wellness standpoint, it's great, but there's also the economic standpoint that we're bringing people into town. And we're using the facilities. It's good for Connersville, it's good for the pickleball people, and it's good to show the access to the park. Because one of the big issues that has come out is, what is the park stuff for? Is it to rent, to make money, or is it for the benefit of the people of Connersville? And that's a tough line sometimes because we have expenses. But this kind of program, I think, would satisfy all the Carrie, thank you. This is really good, because it encourages not only the pickleball players, but anybody who needs an inside facility in the wintertime. So, yes, sir.
Yes, kudos. I think wellness is, we definitely need that in Fayette County. We're like 91st out of 92. So. I had several questions I'd like you to consider. As you put this together, is there a maximum number of hours you can rent a week for everybody? You know,
That's a good question.
you know, because, you know, if in your own survey, the biggest group at 9 through 11, I mean, I can read every name when they liked it. They're all people that we know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there was a great big group, 5 through 7.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they were probably more like families, something to do after school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so in the past, there's been some contention as to, oh, well, that's already rented. And you said, well, who rented it? Or when is it not rented? And it's like, well, we're not going to show you that. It's like, so it would, I think, be in transparency to have a calendar that anybody could access, say, oh, okay, that's a special event for the soccer. There's the Halloween party, there's the Christmas, there's the Thanksgiving. All those things we always knew that was not a day for us to play. And what was nice was when somebody needed to rent it, we want the Miller Building to make as much money as it can too, because we want to keep it there. And so we didn't mind being bumped out, but in the rough draft it says that at the time of our reservation we need to pay what we've rented. So if we got bumped, there needs to be something in the things. Okay, you guys aren't responsible for that reservation now because we bumped you. So
Yeah, they were-
that needs to be in the language. That needs to say,
Yeah.
if you're bumped because of a park event, we don't lose our deposit of
Right.
$50. Because
Right.
that's what it says. And that's good. You shouldn't just book it a bazillion days and then never show up.
Right.
That's not right either.
No.
Right.
No.
And that's not, and so I see that point. But it seems to me like we want to play all winter because we can't play outside. I mean, if you play at 45 degrees, the ball's crack.
And our
We
balls
tried it,
crack.
we tried it. Because I just like fresh air, but you just can't. So, you know, and we try to solicit people from other areas. Well, is the gym open today or not? Well, in the past, we knew when it was open. But now so if we could put ourselves on the calendar knowing that, okay, that something's gonna come, then we can let the people know, no, it won't be open today, but for the most part, it's open 9 to 11, and people from Richmond come, people from Brookville come. And, you know, believe it or not, some people like us, and they come to play with us. You know, they enjoy coming to Connersville. Connersville's like the hub.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep the hub there.
I don't know why, because working in the schools, I get a list of activities every month, every Friday, telling me what's going on. It's on the website. This is what's going on, this is what's going on where, you know, this is meeting in the bowl, this is over in the theater. I'm sure Margie and Carla have seen the same kinds of things, and it's really nice. So if you're looking at it, and it's just posted on the website, it's very, I would think that with the technology we have with the park board, and the park having a Facebook page, having a website, okay, this is when we have things scheduled this week, so you could plan ahead. I don't foresee that causing any major problems at all, just having to schedule
Well,
it.
somebody was very nice in the past. They would make us a monthly calendar.
Okay.
These are your days that it's open. And, yeah, somebody did a really nice job. And so we pass them out. Hey, we're not playing Wednesday. You know, normally we play Wednesday, but this Wednesday we're not playing.
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly reasonable request, and it should be pretty easy to do, because that we have to have some sort of agenda of who's rented what when, and just for the sake of making sure we have proper staff in place to take care of things. So I just see that as kind of a corollary of that without any problems.
And then also, typically, you probably pay somebody in the office, like when you rent something at the Miller Building. See, in the past, we just shoved all the money in an envelope and gave it to somebody, and they took care of it. But now would be, like you say, it sounds like we have to sign a paper that we rented it for that 2 hours or whatever, and which I don't have any problem with. I mean, if you're going to reserve it, you need to pay. But, you know, is that something you have worked out? I mean, would the secretary be the one that would take the monies?
We have not worked that out yet.
That's some of the things that we're.
You probably,
Yeah, and keep in mind, our
And would our
secretary
2
right
hours
now is
payment be
on
made
maternity
Yeah.
leave.
I'm sorry.
Kate's on maternity leave.
Yeah, we have a fill-in
Oh, yeah,
secretary.
yeah.
taking
Yeah,
time.
So, I mean, it would
You know,
just
I
be
mean,
the
like,
job description.
when we
then.
say it's gonna be a little bit of working right now,
Right,
that
yeah,
is one of
I would
those
just say,
considerations of.
Who's there
you
at
know,
the desk? I mean, somebody has to take the money.
She,
Right.
yeah, and she's on, yeah,
Yeah.
so.
But
Yeah, that would be.
But once you paid the deposit, as I am reading this, once that you have paid your first deposit, then that deposit is good for
Season.
The whole season.
Season, unless you lose it.
Right, unless you don't show up and then it becomes.
Yeah, then it
Right.
reverts back, which
Exactly.
makes sense, but you're not going, from the sounds of this, you guys are not going to reserve the spot unless you intend to use the spot.
Oh, no, we
So-
would never, yeah. If
Yeah.
there was 2 of us and we reserved it, we'd pay the money.
Okay.
So,
We'd be short that time, but
yeah, I have a timeline question.
Okay,
Okay, this is not going to be ironed out by your next meeting, but.
probably not, but we're
Okay.
gonna try.
So here's my question. And I appreciate that you will try.
Mhm.
But just in case, we need to be indoors
Right.
pretty soon. So let's think in terms of next Monday,
Mhm.
when we, by all reasonable expectations, may need to be indoors.
Right.
Okay. What fee structure governs us
The ordinance.
next Monday?
The ordinance,
The ordinance.
okay? The one we passed last year, or earlier this year, the $20, okay? That's what I know we're not gonna meet it. I'm sorry, we didn't get it ironed out, but until then, till we get this done, that's gonna be the fee structure until that point, okay?
So is it possible for you to have an emergency session after you contact the others? Can you have an email meeting, a video chat, rather than waiting for another month not using it? I mean, it's
So at this point in time,
a Zoom meeting.
there's a lot of things that are, just the questions alone that you guys brought up here. Okay, we've been addressing them, trying to figure them out, but it still has to be agreed upon, all of it. So,
And some of it, I'm sure, has to, because we are making a program change, some of it has to go through other channels before we can even,
The other thing about it is one of the things I'm trying to avoid is adding it to an ordinance. Okay, which saves you guys a lot of hassle. All right, because if I put it through and we have to vote on it, we recommend an ordinance, then it has to go through all the other the processes, okay, which could take an extra month. What I'm trying to do is just put it together as a program that we introduce and let you use. So that way we can say it starts now, rather than let's vote on it, Board of Works needs to agree to it, and then we get it back, okay? So that's what we're trying to work out. I'm trying to avoid putting it through as an ordinance. Yes.
Will you let us know ahead of time what your proposal will be, your new program will be, so we have a chance to address what you're saying, if we have like a question with it, or we don't like the language, or we don't really, you say something now and it's not in there then, and it's hurting us, will we have a chance as the public to voice our opinion about your proposal?
Yeah, you can come to the next meeting.
But, I mean, you will let us know ahead of the meeting this time that you will be discussing.
I can try,
that.
but I can't guarantee anything there. So,
With this being a health and wellness program, is there any chance that Reed,
well, I brought them up. I've already brought them up that we would possibly try and partner with them to maybe see and get some grant money or something to do to help things out, okay? I've already brought, Community Voices was another one that Carrie
That
brought up.
loved the idea
Of getting
us,
involved with it to try and schedule and help promote some of this to help you guys out, help the community out as well. So we're trying to utilize this, like I said, as a program to help and utilize different people in our community to help do other things with the gym, not just one certain thing, okay? So that's why this is a program rather than a change of the rulings, okay? Yes.
So if you set it up that way, does that mean that next year we have to come back and go through all this again,
Well,
since it's not an ordinance, or?
Well, that's the other thing we're gonna talk about, because it being a program means that, okay, yes, we have to agree to it every year, which shouldn't be hard at that point in time. We can say, yes, we're starting the program again this year, or if we find that it's not working out, we can just say the program's not gonna go anymore, okay? That's the other side to that. It's a double-edged sword. If we find that it's not working out properly, we just shut it down,
Who decides that?
the board.
Board, and not the park superintendent.
Well, the park superintendent always gives us recommendations, but the board has to agree
The
to those
board
things.
has their own mind,
Final.
right?
We do.
and we do this kind of peremptorily every year with the programs that Dennis proposes. We didn't have an indoor soccer program for a long time. We've had it now for several years. That was proposed to us, and sports director saw a need for this because of the popularity of soccer. So we set, as a program, we set up an indoor soccer program. The machine pitch softball was a program that we set up. So we've had a history of doing this, and Dennis brings it up every year. Okay, machine pitch program, we've got this many kids, want to go with it? If we don't have enough kids signed up, clearly then we have to make other choices. But as a program, we get a lot more flexibility. And if it's a popular program, we're not going to cut it out because people are using it. And that's the purpose of having the parks to begin with, is to have them used and utilized by the people in the community. So, yeah, so don't be concerned about that particularly.
Dennis, what do you see for the winter months? You've already got, some basketball leagues, I'm sure.
Yeah, there will be, and most of that stuff's gonna affect the evening stuff, is what it normally affects, because you're looking at, if everything goes over, you've got basketball in there on Sundays, you've got basketball in there on Mondays, you've got soccer in there on Tuesdays, you've got volleyball in there on Wednesdays. I think there's 4 or 5 days that will be
No evening.
taken out.
We've had a few night things over the last few years.
Right.
What was it, Tuesday night and Thursday night? or-
Yeah.
Well, the evenings are usually would be harder also
Right.
due to, there's got to be somebody in the building for somebody to be in there, and that's what we wouldn't have.
But is this
every night of the
program
week.
to address that or no?
That's,
And,
that others have.
and there has to be a time for cleaning too,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, exactly.
that's
That's
another
what I
thing
mean.
with Jeremy.
Right.
Correct.
Those are all the notes that we've been taking, okay? This is brand new,
Sure,
okay?
sure.
Now, this is something that what was it, 5 days ago?
Not even.
Brought it up as we were discussing these options. So,
Like a deadline.
so we brought it here tonight, just so that way we can get some more thoughts on it. We've been covering a lot of ground since then, so, yes.
I just want to bring up to Ann's point, and the annual review seems to me a good thing, because if there's a loophole,
Right?
or we found out there's a need for something else,
Mhm.
since it's not an ordinance change, it's just a program change, it's a lot easier
Exactly.
To manage
to
that.
Makes it
make
easier for
those
you folks.
adjustments.
That's right.
Well, and you too, and hopefully for the good of everybody.
Community.
That's correct.
And then a point of clarification, because reading it and then, as I hear Steve talking about, is it, am I understanding the organization pays the $50 deposit for the season?
Mhm.
And then we can pay and reserve whatever. And we can pay that actual $10 per hour rate on the day of play?
Right, that's what it says.
What I would
That's-
assume.
That's what it says.
Of the proposal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
just
then
wanted
that's
to
just on the
clarify that.
proposal. That's something that
Finalize.
the office staff has not weighed in on yet
Right.
to
I think
see,
that's a
because I
great
know
idea.
that they were redoing a lot of their
Internal.
deposit, internal deposit paperwork and internal deposit receiving of money and how that money comes in, how it gets turned back in. It has to run through the office across the hall. You know, and so that all right now, I think they were, am I right, Scott? They were redoing a lot of
They are.
it. And so that is one of the questions that we have when we review this again a little bit further.
Right.
And then I want to express concern for the walkers, which I haven't been one, but to expect them to pay when they're just walking, you're not
Mhm.
providing a service for them.
Right.
We want to
I don't
encourage
think
that.
that walkers have ever paid in the past.
They have not,
No,
and
so I don't know
I
that we
don't-
would, I don't know that we would add that to them. I'm not sure we would.
Well, it's.
I would.
I know it's on this
It's
list.
on this, but
Now.
again,
That
this is,
doesn't-
this is
yeah.
Rough
something
draft.
that.
This was,
is
like I
a-
said.
Is a rough draft, and
Right.
if you're a walker, you kind of take your own risk, because I used to walk in the Spartan Bowl when we were allowed to do that,
Yeah.
and you kind of walked at your own risk because there were other people
Sure.
there, so.
My heart says, you want me to pay what?
Right.
Yeah, well, like,
We
yeah,
do.
could
Well, you
walkers
don't
walk
want
while you're
walkers while we're
playing?
playing pickleball, that's very dangerous.
Right.
That's
But
that's
what
what
someone
Yeah,
said,
as
can
well
they
as
walk
us.
in
was
the
the
front
walkers would
room?
parade
Yes, they
around the
could.
whole
The whole gym?
And
If they could
when
walk in
pickleball comes in there, then there was conflict because it's on both sides. Pickleballers don't want somebody coming around their gym while they're playing.
Someone
the
just
same way as
mentioned like
You
in
could
the
run
other
into them,
room.
or
They don't want to
ball
walk
could
around.
hit them.
Right, so, or like the Roberts building,
The Roberts
or,
building would
Roberts
seem to be a reasonable alternative for the walkers, because basically it's gonna be unobstructed, and it's simply not used as frequently for the more athletic kinds of things, because of just the setup of that particular building, so it would be much better for the walkers to use that.
My suggestion is you just put in your notes of,
Yeah.
consider walkers separately, you know, and maybe if the Roberts Building, there's gonna be a cost, maybe they'd be willing to pay $5 a month to be able to walk in the Roberts
Right.
Building to cover cleaning or whatever, but
I mean, that's a
expecting walkers to
reprogram,
pay
right?
$3 or whatever for time.
Something involved in that.
Or just walk around the park.
Well, in the
It's
winter,
cold
it's kind of
and
cold.
And on the ice,
So-
you don't wanna walk on the ice.
Shirley?
You don't,
So
Rather than, I mean, this is just throwing something out there, but rather than trying to make one size fits all,
Right.
like this, which is an absolute great thing, and to delay it until all the little things can be resolved, maybe you could decide on one program at a time, and the pickleball program could, because like you say, you've been working on this for 5 days, but this group has been working on this for more than 5 months. And so like the walkers, that's not nearly as complicated. And again, you know, they could use the banquet facility John Roberts, if I'm not mistaken, it still has the stairs. I know they have a handicap ramp, I think, now.
Elevator,
They have an elevator.
that's working now,
Oh,
I
wow.
think.
Oh, good.
But keep in mind, though, we're not creating a program, I
Right.
guess, it's a winter wellness program that is gonna encompass everything.
Everybody.
Not just the pickleball, not just the walkers, not just whoever, or the yoga or whatever. It's gonna be all inclusive
I
of
think
any
that-
winter wellness.
And I think that's kind of, to your point, Shirley, I think that makes it a little bit more difficult, but to Amy's, how we're trying to get around this whole mishigash that's been going on for 5 months is to try to avoid having to change ordinances and have to deal with all the legal stuff and still give you most of what you want. It allows us to keep the legal parameters that we need to keep for bookkeeping purposes and liability purposes and all of that good stuff. So by having an inclusive program on the books, we can always tweak it as we need to, but it's not just if we make it exclusive, then we're probably gonna run into some of the same problems we've had before. Because if another group comes in and says, well, you did this for pickleball and you didn't include us.
We're doing it for wellness.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Winter
That's why
wellness.
we're labeling it
Why do you
this.
think we play pickleball?
Yeah.
Right.
So we don't
Yeah.
end over there at Miller's.
Wait a minute.
I had a comment
Conflict of
unless you
interest.
have something. It was brought to my attention that you have a discovery camp program. We would love to teach those kids how to play pickleball.
Is Scott still in charge? Is Scott Caldwell still gonna be in charge of
I
that?
don't know, is it coming back next year?
But I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
no,
like
in the fall.
In the fall?
next
Yeah,
spring
like-
or summer.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that
next
would
summer,
be-
yeah.
Outside.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
is
That
coming back
once.
next
We
summer.
did a
Is it?
program
Okay.
discovery several years ago.
Scott Caldwell did a fantastic job with Summer Discovery this year. It was
And that was part
It
of
was absolutely
superintendent's
fantastic. The
report.
kids had a great time. They learned a lot.
What was the dates on that?
It was a
Oh, great.
fantastic program.
October 24th,
But
28th.
Scott is my grandkids were involved in it, and I was so pleased with all of the variety of things that he did. And he would certainly be to my mind, he would be very receptive of some, and I think it would be good for those of us that are a little older to interact in a very positive way with some of the younger kids.
Yeah, and keep that in mind, they are having a fall discovery camp during fall break.
Right.
And so they will be in the gym
Right,
That whole
right.
week.
that whole week.
But-
Maybe you could teach them. to
But
play
I
pickleball.
just want to reiterate, you're looking at a group of givers, not takers. We're talking about thousands of dollars that have gone through the Miller Building by our little $3 donations. And beautiful benches there by the pickleball courts. That was donated by our group. You said, well, it wasn't, it was taken out of that money, but the money went in there from our group. And the windscreens and the courts. So, you know, we like Connersville. We live in Connersville. And we like to be heard by Connersville. And that's something from the heart. It's not, you know, there's all kinds of things we can talk about, but it is, I really have to, you know, emphasize, I mean, my wife can't be here tonight because she's worked hundreds of hours,
Yes.
but she's playing for the concert choir to school tonight. And she says, I am not going to do that. I mean, so, you know, that's why she's not here.
By the way, we've had so many people from out of town that have commented about how beautiful our park is. And those courts, you know, they love playing.
I mean, that's just one part, you know, there's a lot of nice stuff. It's gonna be neat to get that bridge fixed. I mean, that's cool. And, you know, the sculptures we have and the bark park. And so, yeah, that's something we can be proud of. And Colonel Roberts, way back when, he wanted that for the community. And he didn't want us to nickel and dime people to death. He just wanted a nice place where people could go and have fun. So
And the other thing we don't think about very often is the number of parks we have, the different opportunities we
Right.
have to go to Smallies or, and, you know,
Right.
John Connor or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's here, and we maintain it. And part of it is the income that you guys supply goes not just to the gym, but it goes, you know, to the community. And it's really, that's what's important, is we're sharing that.
Well, we've raised a lot of money through tournaments and stuff like this to get it back into the community.
Yep.
Yeah, because those people had to eat
Unlike
somewhere.
volleyball or basketball, people that come in
Mhm.
and play a couple hours a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we
get
all, sorry, I think we all have all the good at heart, all of us do, or we wouldn't all be here tonight. We all give to our community, and we want the best for everybody, and that's why we put so much time and effort into trying to come up with a resolve that will encompass everyone and make everyone happy. And Winter Wellness was a great proposal.
Yes.
It's going to help us all. And if
Right.
we had as many people that are in this room just for the good of the cause and a lot of things that we have, it would be a much better place. So all the negativity and things that we see, there are a lot of positive things in Connersville.
Right.
So thank you all for being passionate about
It
what
just
you
doesn't,
want.
you know, for some reason, people think there's got to be a winner and a loser. They don't understand,
No.
we could all be winning,
Exactly.
just work together,
Exactly.
you know, but sometimes personalities get in the way. Somebody hears it wrong and it's like, you know, they repeat it, and so, but, you know, working with the public, you know, if you're a school teacher, you have to work with a lot of different people.
A lot of different personalities.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so maybe some people aren't as skilled at that. But, you know, the people you have out in front that are meeting with the community, they have to have those good people skills, because that's what people think about when they come to Connersville, you know, who they meet.
And I didn't realize until after talking to Judy, actually, how much revenue was created from the tournaments. From my days down at the baseball fields and being the gate person for the last 300 years, I think, I knew how much money came through those gates every day. And a lot of it stayed here. And anytime you can get any outside people from Laurel, from Union County, involved in your thing, they're not going home without a cup of coffee, without lunch. It's those kinds of things that they don't show on the books, but they show in the community. You know, the economic impact of any kind of thing like this, I think is terribly underrated as a source of pride and economic development for the city and the county. So, yeah, I really applaud you. Keep those tournaments coming, guys. Apparently, people like to come to Connersville for the tournaments. I'm assuming that the Connersville people allow people from other vicinities
all around.
to
Richmond,
win every once in a
Indianapolis,
while.
Oh, well, now, I don't know about that.
We don't go that far.
We won't go that far, okay.
But we do exclude ourselves from planes.
Yeah, we can't win. I just want to make a comment. I grabbed a notebook as I came out for remarks, and this happened to be the one we got at the high school. It says, "Together we can make a difference." And I thought, you know, that's where we need to be. Instead of, I win, you want this, I don't want this, all that stuff. Together we can make a difference. And I really like the program idea versus the legal
Ordinance.
idea.
This has a
and-
lot of potential.
I hope so.
The
Well,
fact that it can be changed
So it-
and work for everybody, I think that's wonderful. We just need to work together and keep going till we get something that works and be willing to tweak it when it needs tweaking.
And if you need some help, I think we'd all be willing to nominate Judy.
Yeah, you can't do that, she's not here.
That's right.
That's why
She
we
can't
do
turn it
that.
down.
Yeah, well, but,
All right, so at this point in time, we will take this and we will keep moving this forward. And the next meeting, there will be more on this. I don't know if it'll be finished, but hopefully it will be ready to be discussed further. Because, like I said, we've gotten this far to this point.
we'll be willing to be the guinea pigs.
Well,
All right.
thank you.
So-
And that's kind of what you are.
Yeah.
You're our
New program.
new program, but it's a new program with people involved with it that know what they're doing and know what their goals are and they're unified in that respect, and that's super. It makes it a lot easier to do than having it something disjointed, so.
The next meeting's on the 18th?
We
Well-
are voting on that. We've got to
Oh,
confirm that.
Confirm it.
Okay?
But that's the
That's,
proposed
that's the
time.
proposed.
It's proposed
6:30.
meeting
Oh, okay.
on the
Yes.
18th.
Due to
okay?
fall break.
Coming soon to a Facebook page
Yes,
near me.
exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, so we need to move on to our miscellaneous business. I don't think we have anything there. Anybody got any miscellaneous business? Okay, I need a motion on claims, including payroll.
I so moved.
First, we need a second.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of claims, including payroll?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, that's good. You guys already had your public forum, so
Thank you.
you're welcome. All I need is a motion.
I'll make that motion.
And,
I'll second it.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Is that all we can sign?